It's the Joseph Bristol Show.
If you enjoy the video, hit the like. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show, where I share my life philosophy and thoughts and just things that I think will help us all grow and better as people and prosper in this life, right? And today I want to talk about something really cool. So I want to say maybe for the last 6 or 8 months, I've really been looking into manifestation, reading books about it, watching a lot of YouTube videos about it, listening to seminars, and just people talking about it. And not just people that have manifested things, but neuroscientists, psychologists, just different people that talk about it. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is what is manifestation, right? So when I say what is manifestation, I'm not really trying to get into how to manifest right now. I'm really just talking literally about what is it? And for sure, I am beginning to definitely believe that everything in our lives we have manifested. Everything that you see, every person that you interact with, everything is your inner being expressed outwardly to you. Whatever you feel about yourself, whatever you feel about the world is being expressed outwardly to you. So there are a couple of notes that I wrote down in my learning about manifestation. So one of them is the red car theory. For those who don't know, the red car theory is essentially saying that if you buy a red car today, all of a sudden you might be driving and you see red cars everywhere. You'll just constantly be seeing red cars everywhere you look. And it's not because, suddenly the world is just full of red cars. Everybody has bought a red car. But in all actuality, it's because your brain is paying attention to red cars now. Your brain identifies that a red car is in fact important. It is something that matters. And the only reason why it registers it as important is because you yourself own a red car. So because you have one, your brain instinctively knows that this is important because I have one, right? And then the other aspect of what is manifestation. So with that being said, how does that pertain to everything that you see in your life? Is your insides being exhibited outwardly. So again, that goes into the theory that whatever is important to you, however you feel about yourself, whatever you think about yourself, you're going to see that in the outside, in the real world when you look around, right? Because of the red car theory. Also, the idea that God is nothing and God is consciousness. God is the air that we breathe, because you can't actually see the air. So it looks like nothing, but it is something. And it's consciousness. Air is air. It's a molecule. We can break it down, right? But air is consciousness, because as you're breathing in, that's what keeps you conscious. If you stop breathing, if you hold your breath, if you literally just stop breathing for whatever reason, you lose consciousness. That's the very first thing that happens to you. You lose consciousness, right? And so it's well, then the air is consciousness, technically. It is God. And when I say God is nothing, it's because atoms are 90% nothing. The thing that makes everything real, the thing that makes everything matter, is 90% empty space. It's 90% literally nothing. So God is everything, God is everywhere, then God would be nothing. He is the thing that we describe as nothing. He's the air that we're breathing in, the thing that keeps us conscious, right? Affirmations change the thoughts you pay attention to. It makes that program the dominant, loudest one, right? So this goes into what is manifestation. The things that you're saying to yourself, the affirmations that you're giving to yourself, the positive words and feedback that you give to yourself, it's going to change the way you feel about yourself. And by changing the way you feel about yourself, all of a sudden the things that come into your life, the things that you're seeing, the things that you're paying attention to, it's shown to you, right? So you feel like you are poor and like, oh, I never get any money, then you're constantly going to notice how you never get any money, how you're always broke, how you're always just filled with poverty. But if you're constantly feeding your mind the idea that I'm rich, I have abundance, I'm good with money, I never have issues with money, all of a sudden that is what your life begins to produce for you, because the universe says yes to whatever it is that you say about yourself, right? And so we live in the world of all possibilities already. Your specific sight brings it to your reality. All possibilities are being seen. That's why the sky is blue, the stars are constantly there, etc. That's a part of the collective consciousness, right? So there's multiple consciousnesses. Consciousnesses? Maybe it's a word, I don't know. But there's multiple consciousness, right? There is the collective, so all of us on the earth have one singular consciousness. Then there is the consciousness of everything itself, all of the galaxies, the universes, the planets, the trees, everything that has ever existed and will ever exist has a consciousness, right? And then there is your specific individual consciousness. And by me seeing everything that I'm seeing, this is my consciousness, my inward feelings being projected outwardly to me. And when you're watching this, your consciousness, you've manifested me into your life. You want to see this. You literally want to see this. You might not know you want to see this, but subconsciously inside you, you want to see it. You want to hear these words, which is why you're hearing these words and you're seeing me, the image that you're seeing. So you have manifested me into your existence as I am manifesting everything that I see into my existence. So that's why I'm saying that all possibilities are already being played out. They're already happening. Because I can't see what's happening in Africa or China or 3 blocks away from me. I can only see what I can see right now in this immediate vicinity. So everything outside of my sight is all possibilities being played out. Everything that could happen is happening right now outside of my sight. But whoever is outside of my sight and is seeing the things that I can't see, they have drawn that specific manifestation and reality into their field of view, right? For those who get it. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very hard for me to explain it, but like it makes perfect sense that all possibilities are already happening. I just can't see it because what I can see is what I'm seeing. It is limited to my field of vision, my ability to focus on those things. That's why like things like astral projecting is such a powerful thing, because you can essentially broaden your field of consciousness. Okay, so this goes into how to manifest. I'm not really trying to get into that. But bump it. I guess I wrote it, so I will get into it a little bit. So essentially, so what am I saying? What is manifestation? Ultimately, what I'm saying manifestation is manifestation is quite literally the way you feel, your subconscious mind, the way you feel and the way you think. Not all the time, but majority of the time is being projected to you. So you're in the store and you see 100 people. None of them are talking to you. None of them are looking at you. All of a sudden, somebody busts out fighting and arguing. You manifested that. So you might be thinking, well, how did I manifest that? Somewhere inside you, there is a conflict that you need to see. You're not paying attention to it. You're not focused on it. You're not thinking about it. Because we're all connected. We are all one person. We are all in the collective consciousness. So every person is a manifestation of a part of you, right? You only see the things that are a part of you. So then you might say, well, what about wars and famine and people dying and being murdered? You are only noticing that or seeing that or paying attention to that because subconsciously you desire that. Subconsciously, you want to see those things. Subconsciously, there's somewhere inside of you that has those things going on inside of you. A war, a famine, hurt and pain and things that you are not consciously willing to pay attention to. So subconsciously, it has to become outward. Your inward is being shown outward. But to manifest correctly, you have to know exactly what you want, down to the very details, so that you can really feel it, and that is what will create it and make it real. The how you get it and when you get it should be irrelevant if you want it to come easily with very little effort, right? So again, this is why I say we are manifesting everything in our reality, because if you work really, really hard to become a millionaire, you will eventually become a millionaire. But that's because you have actively done steps to force this outcome into your life, right? But if you are trying to manifest millions of dollars, you have to constantly remind yourself that it doesn't matter how I do it, and it doesn't matter when I do it. I just know that I'm going to do it. I know that it's already done. It's already happened. I'm already a millionaire. Doesn't matter what my reality is telling me right now. At this point, I know for a fact I am a millionaire. It's already occurred, right? So then, well, how will it occur if you're not taking actions, if you're not doing anything to make it happen? This is where trusting your inner self, that inner voice, trusting the excitement of the universe happens. So you're at work and suddenly you get this feeling to turn left when you usually go right. You follow that feeling. You go to the left. You get this feeling to talk to this specific person or go into that store. You do it. And from those chain of events, suddenly, you just start tumbling into the millions of dollars. And it's only after you get it, you can look back and see, holy crap, all that stuff that I did and said led me to this place. Right? It all got me here. It all got me to the manifestation that I was desiring. It all created the reality that I wanted for myself. So to manifest with very little effort is you following your inner thoughts, your inner monologue. You are following the excitement, you're following the universe, whatever signs it's giving you to you. Because whatever you say you want in life, just like that, you have it. But to get to that point, you have to follow the path. You have to do the thing that feels usually uncomfortable. Usually that's how you know you're going down the right path. So you're like, I want to manifest love in my life. I want to manifest a healthy, lifelong growing relationship, right? Boom. Once you've said it out loud, that's it. You're there. You already have it, right? So now suddenly life will give you multiple forks in the road, multiple decisions that will lead you to this lifelong healthy relationship that you're looking for. But you have to follow those paths. You have to follow that excitement all the way until you can't follow it anymore. So you say you want that, and then suddenly you get this urge to go and eat McDonald's and sit inside. Usually you go to the drive-thru. So you're like, I don't want to go to McDonald's and sit down on the inside. I don't want to do that. Because you don't want to do that and you don't do it, you don't get the healthy lifelong relationship. But if you would have just followed that excitement, that sudden urge, that out of nowhere thing telling you to do this thing that you usually don't do, then you would be led on a path that would lead you to getting your manifestation. Because what manifestation is your higher self. It is your future self talking to you. So your future self is already living the life that you have desired, that you want. And you saying that you want it is putting you in alignment with your future self. But your future self knows how you got there. It knows how it happened. So it's going to tell you how to do it, but it can't talk to you directly. It can only nudge you and give you sensations and feelings and instances to do the thing that will get you there. Now, no matter what, you're going to get there. It's just a matter of time. How much time do you want to get there? If you want to get there as fast as possible, ignore how, ignore when, and go with the sensations, go with the feelings, follow your intuition, right? If you want to get there and know how and know when, then you would have to do specific things that you think you should do to get there. In which case, honestly, it'll most likely take a lot longer, because now you're kind of forcing outcomes to happen that really probably shouldn't happen, but you're making them happen, and so you're going to get the result that you're looking for. And a couple of these other notes are really like how to manifest, but I really didn't want to get into how to manifest. I really just wanted to focus on what is manifestation. And like I said, the real crux here, the real thing that I'm saying here is manifestation is your inward feelings about yourself being projected outwardly to you. So if you don't like what's happening in your life, you don't like having unhealthy relationships, you don't like having not enough money, you don't like constantly jumping from job to job, you don't like losing your friends, you don't like feeling unhealthy, being unhealthy, then you have to manifest better into your life. You have to think better thoughts. And then by thinking better thoughts, you feel better. And by feeling better, you project better out into the world. And then that would create this loop that will constantly come around. Some people can control their feelings. And so by controlling their feelings, now they think better. And by thinking better, they project better out into their world, right? So really, you have to figure out which one are you better at, controlling your thoughts or your feelings. Most people, the thoughts are a lot easier because you'll think something and then you can literally catch yourself thinking whatever it is that you're thinking and say, no, I don't want to think those thoughts. I don't want to do that. And then force yourself to think something different. And by doing this repeatedly, you will change the reality that you're having. You literally change the feeling and thoughts inside your mind. And that's where I wrote here. Thoughts equal feelings and feelings equal thoughts. So control your thoughts, focus them, get to about 60% of what you want to think. Grounded in the now helps. So to ground yourself in the now, you need to stop and just look around. Just look at how green the trees are. Look at how you feel standing where you're standing, how it feels to sit down. Put your hand on your chest and feel your heartbeat. Just feel your heart pumping in your chest. You know what I mean? Feel yourself breathing. Like, just pay attention to how you're breathing. Our deep, shallow breaths. Essentially, living in the now is just recognizing exactly what's happening right now in your life. Literally, right now at this exact moment. So right now, you're watching this video. Look at your phone. What type of phone are you holding? How does it feel in your hand? You know, look around you. How many people are around you? What do they look like? What are they wearing? What are you wearing? How do the clothes feel against your skin? Feel against your shoulders? Can you feel the t-shirt on your shoulder, on your arm? And that will pull you into living in the right now at this exact moment. And the longer you can stay in the now, the better, because by living in the now, you dismiss the future and you dismiss the past. And by dismissing them, you create the realm of all possibilities. When you're thinking of the future, oddly enough, you are literally navigating your mind and your actions to that specific future that you're thinking of. That's why if you're constantly worrying about, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? How am I going to get a job? When am I going to get a job? When am I going to meet somebody? When am I going to fall in love? By you constantly doing that, you are pulling yourself into the future of that constant asking. And so you're constantly in the future of you constantly asking, right? But if you're constantly thinking of a future where it's like, you know, okay, so you're constantly thinking of a future where it's like, yeah, I have this job. I love my job. I go to work every day. It feels great. I feel good after work. I'm cooking up a beautiful dinner in my beautiful house. I'm walking up to my yard. My grass is green and lovely. I got a beautiful partner at home. As soon as I walk through the door, they're like, yo, babe, how are you? Give me a hug and a kiss. And they're just happy to see me. And I start venting about my life. And I got great friends. And one of my friends they are so glad and happy because they hit the lotto, and like you are literally describing this future that you know you have. You're pulling yourself into that future, right? And that's what I'm saying. If you're like a negative person, then grounding yourself in the now, not the circumstances that you're in, but in the now of how you feel in your body, how you feel in your life, the now of just this shirt on my skin, my hands feel sweaty, my heart is beating, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. When you focus on that, the future of all possibilities opens up. And you will gravitate subconsciously towards the best future for yourself, because your subconscious really wants the best for you. It wants the best life, the best of everything. Your subconscious wants that. But it has to get rid of any negative thoughts or beliefs, any hurt, any pain, anything that's holding you to the past. It has to get rid of that, because it knows that it can't get what it wants as long as it's holding on to the past. So it will navigate you to the path that will allow you to release the past and progress into the future that you want. So again, manifestation is your inward being exhibited to you outwardly. So everything that you're seeing has something to do with how you feel about yourself. And so you need to stop and think, why is my subconscious showing me this? What is this thing that I'm looking at? These things that are happening in my life, what are they telling me about what I believe about me and what I think about me? And that is what manifestation is. But we are constantly, everything you see, everything you hear, you have manifested it into your life. That being said, man, I could have went, real long into this, a whole whiteboard and writing stuff out and all that, but I don't want to do all that. So with that being said, though, I just want to thank you for watching another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. Let's all remember, man, we all out here trying to do the same thing. Survive and be happy. Y'all stay blessed.